Hello and welcome to Let's Play Pikmin 2, the next series that I'm bringing to my channel. Like I said, this is something that is slightly relevant. Would have been relevant, more relevant a few months ago, but Pikmin 4 is here. And I've decided that it's time for me to bring Pikmin to my channel. Yes, I am starting with 2. I am not the biggest fan of Pikmin 1. Probably not going to make a Let's Play of it. That could change in the future, but it is not my favorite game, and I find it very difficult to go back to after playing Pikmin 2. I love this game. This is one of my favorite GameCube games. Maybe one of my favorite games of all time. Maybe not quite that much, but I do love this game. And before I talk about more, I actually want to talk about this title screen here. We've got some Pikmin making the Pikmin 2 logo. We can actually make them move around. If you hit the R button, they will turn into a different sort of logo. And while they're doing that, let me explain a little bit about how I'm going to do this. This is going to be a 100% Let's Play of Pikmin 2. So we are going to be, getting to the first goal, and then we're going to complete and get all of the treasures. You can see the Pikmin here have formed the word Nintendo. If you want them to go back to Pikmin 2, just hit the L button. Also, there were no purple flowers in Nintendo. I'm sure people who are watching this probably know stuff already, but I'm going to try my best not to spoil too much. There's some more stuff you can do on the title screen here. If you press the X button, a bulb will appear. You might have to press it a few times. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, maybe it has to be on the... Oh, there it is. You can control the bulb orb. I didn't know this for most of my life. Come on. There we go. If you press the C stick, you gotta be a little bit persistent with it. You can actually control the direction it moves in, and if you press the Z button, it eats Pikmin! And then they disappear, and they're gone until you have them reform. It is not particularly easy to control the bulb orb, but it's just a little cute thing that I didn't know you could do for the longest time. Alright, how do I make this guy go away? Supposedly, you can also summon a flint beetle. I have never gotten this to actually work. Oh, there he goes. And they're going to reform. They should be missing some Pikmin. Oh, maybe not. I'm trying to get the beetle. I've heard that if you press the Y button, it summons a beetle, but it doesn't appear to be working. Another thing with the title screen is there's actually 4 seasons that you can go through. So when you hit the begin button, it brings you to making your start file, but if you go back, you'll get a different season. I don't think I'm going to sit here and get all of the seasons. I just did want to show that you can change it like that. There are, of course, some demo scenes that'll play if you sit on the title screen for long enough. Those are already on YouTube. I don't need to show them to you guys. Without further ado, well, actually, one more thing. I am planning on doing challenge mode. However, I might throw it into bonus videos instead of putting it at the end of the Let's Play. Oh, there's the beetle. I haven't quite decided that yet. I'll figure that out as I go. But yes, we are doing challenge mode. Oh, one other thing that I think I might want to mention that I think people probably don't know, you can turn the music off. I didn't know that for the longest time. You can technically turn the sound effects off too. But, just in case anybody wanted to do that. Anyway, let's jump right in. Bonuses is just cutscenes you've unlocked. It's nothing all that interesting. Gonna start a new ship's log. Hocotate Freight is a long-haul deep space shipping company. One day, its only employee of any merit, Captain Olimar, crashed on an uncharted planet while on an interstellar vacation. There, he was aided by indigenous creatures which he called Pikmin. In the end, Captain Olimar escaped. But in Olimar's absence, his employer, Hocotate Freight, ran into financial difficulties. I am going to be pronouncing it Hocotate. I know there's a little bit of debate. In the Japanese version, I believe it is Hokotate. I think that probably is the more correct version, but I think, at least in this version, they were trying to rhyme Hocotate with freight, so I'm just gonna go with that. Planet Hocotate! I may change my mind later. Yeah, Hocotate Freight. I think they were going for the rhyme there. President of Hocotate Freight and local employee, Louie. Olimar, I'm so glad you're safe. Yes, very glad, quite glad, but... Sadly, I have an announcement that is not so glad. Our company is going under, yes. We're finished. On his first mission, Louis here met a ravenous space bunny. And his entire load of golden Pick brand carrots was eaten. I took out an enormous loan to repay the debt from this loss. I decided to sell off corporate assets to repay the loan. But the only asset we had to sell was your ship, the SS Dolphin. As for the rest of our loan... we have no means to repay it. Olimar, what is that? You brought that back as a souvenir for your kid? Treasure, 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 money, 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 money. Initiating valuation of recovered treasure. This artifact is worth 100 Pokos. This thing's worth 100 Pokos? That's more than a year's salary. What? There are more on that planet? They can repay our debt. Louis, you don't look alive. You must depart immediately. With Captain Olimar. I do love the voice acting in that. There are so many versions of this cutscene on YouTube if you just want to hear the voices. I am here to do narration, like I always do. And with that, we're off. My favorite Pikmin game. This game is a little bit polarizing. Some people love it, some people hate it. I am firmly in the love it category. Starting off in the Valley of Repose. A nice wintry area. And of course we start with a crash landing. It's Pikmin tradition. Luckily the ship survived this time. The plot of the first game is that you crash land and you gotta find pieces of your ship. It's not connected to this game in any way, really. That was close. I have averted a crash landing. Running diagnostics. Alert! Danger! Louis is missing. He must have somehow fallen out of his cockpit. He is not responding via his communicator. He is either flouting protocol or in danger. Olimar, you must find Louis before he freezes to death in the cold of this planet. Wait for a moment. Look! There they are. Could these be Pikmin? They look like they are about to be devoured as we speak. You must help them quickly. Press B to call them with your whistle, Captain Olimar. You can also hold B to make the sound of your whistle carry further, remember? If you've played Pikmin 1, the control scheme is pretty much the same here. Unfortunately, I've been playing a bit of Pikmin 3, so I'm going to have to remember the classic control scheme, because it's very different in 3. The Pikmin ran to your side. They seem to remember you. Captain Olimar, how fascinating. Give them instructions and do not delay. Hold A to grab a Pikmin and release to throw it. Alright. It took me a while to warm up to... As far as I know, these guys can't die. It took me a moment to warm up to the lock-on command in 3, but now that I'm used to it, it might be a little hard to adjust without it, so forgive me if I have some control, whatever, a little difficulty in the beginning. Yeah, I'm fairly certain you can't lose those Pikmin. Attention, Captain Olimar! I have just re-established my communications link with Louis. It is fortunate we have managed to confirm his safety. Press Y to communicate with him. I am quite interested in the details of his condition. Oh boy, camera control especially is going to be a little bit of a task to get used to again for me. Hopefully it'll work itself out in a few episodes. Louis, allow me to assess your condition. As per our safety protocols, are you at all injured? Is that so? Then my concerns are eased. Our communication link shows you are nearby. Can you make your way to our location and join us? I will navigate for you. Press start pause to contact me and obtain information about the terrain. Yes, I am playing the GameCube version of this game. I've heard lots of people say that the Wii version is the definitive version because of the controls, but I've never played it, and probably never will. This is the map. I believe I don't think there's any way to lock it in place. It does change based on the way you're looking. I don't tend to check the map all that often, but it is there if you need it. You can zoom in and out. The menu lets you end the day. You can't do that today because it's the tutorial. It also shows you how many Pokos you've collected. Here's your exploration kit. These are treasures that we don't have yet. And that's all there is there. The stuff on the left side will make sense later once we have Pikmin. Hold on, I'm reorienting camera controls. That's okay. I usually like the middle version, and that is center the camera. When I play Pikmin, I do have a tendency to just keep the L button held down, because it moves the camera with you. Louis, the odd object before you appears to be one of the onions mentioned in Olimar's report. Indeed it is. The red onion, in fact. You always start with red Pikmin. The seed the onion ejected just sprouted. According to Olimar's report, it can be plucked with A. If you sit around and wait, Pikmin will level up to Bud or Flower Pikmin. I'm not actually sure they let you do that at this point in the game. It's also not worth it. Look how cute he is. I love Pikmin. Louis, this must be one of the Pikmin creatures from Olimar's report. It is staring at you. You can use C to issue objectives to your Pikmin squad and even direct their movement. You can disband your squad with X. Interesting. Olimar's description of the creatures resembling Pick carrots was strikingly accurate. Louis, my sensors have detected drool in the corner of your mouth. Are you alright? I love this scene. Perfect little scene. Alright. Direct with C, dismiss with X. There are ways to cycle through the Pikmin as well, but that will come later. Well, let's just make some more. The ship is another polarizing part of this game. A lot of people really hate the ship. They think it's annoying. They think it cuts in way too much. I love the ship so much. I love his little robot voice. I can't help it. It's cute. I've always had a thing for, like, little navigation characters anyway. Never had a problem with Navi. I don't know, it makes it feel like there's somebody along with me. The onion ejected more seeds. The pellet from the flower must hold nutrients that breed Pikmin. Yes, the Pikmin gather nutrients, haul them to the onion, and further propagate the species. The onion is a Pikmin mothership. Reviewing Olimar's report, it seems repeatedly tapping A lets one rapidly pluck Pikmin sprouts. This is a feature that was removed in 3. You just hit it once and it goes automatically. But darn it if I don't like rapidly tapping A for stuff. It's a more visceral command. It makes me feel like I'm really doing something. Even though, yes, I will agree that in terms of ease of play, it is probably for the best that they let you just let it go automatically. There's a lot of things I like about this game that technically could be considered downgrades from the previous game, just because of a little ease of use stuff like that, but I don't know, there's just something about it. Like I said, I like feeling like I'm doing something. Even if it takes a little bit longer or is maybe a little bit more annoying, I like being the one in control of, like, doing the actions. But going back to the ship for a second, I also really like the ship's personality. Some people don't, they think it's annoying, but especially once you get some more stuff and it gets to really do some more dialogue and, like, start... I don't want to give too much away. It's gonna, like, start writing blurbs for stuff. I really think that it's got a good personality. I think it's funny. But that's just me. I'm easily entertained. This is the way we came from, I believe. You can go back here and see Louis' little imprint. Didn't get a good look at that before, but yep, that's where Louie landed in the snow. If you're wondering how I've got the camera moving dynamically with me right now, it's just because I have the L button held down. The Pikmin right now are leaf Pikmin, which means they are slow, so I'm probably going to have to wait for them sometimes. And here we have product placements! Perhaps this object is one of the treasures that we are searching for. The only reason we found it here is because this is where you crash-landed. How fortunate. I would like to appraise it, but you must regroup with Olimar first. Can you see him? Press L to move the camera behind you, R to zoom, and Z to change angles. Oh, that's right, Z can give you like a top-down perspective. Like that. I don't know anybody who likes to play like that, but I'm sure there are at least some people. Some treasures are buried. I don't remember if this was a thing in the first game, to be honest. It could have been. But it's a much bigger thing in this game at any rate. I'm gonna leave this for now because it'll go faster when we have more Pikmin, obviously. But even if we did dig it up now, we couldn't get it because it needs 20 Pikmin. This is a paper bag. If you have 35 Pikmin, it'll go down and you can continue through the area. We don't. We only have 10. This one requires 15. So if we take these 5 Pikmin that were working on that Bulborb, now we have enough. This is a new obstacle introduced in Pikmin 2. Olimar seems happy to see Louie. Louie does not necessarily seem happy to be here. Captain Olimar, Louie, you are reunited at last. This has been a troublesome start to our trip. But now you must feel assured that your combined wits can get you through anything, correct? From now on, use B to form a single group, X to take solo action, and Y to change leaders. Yes, this was the first game that introduced multitasking. There are certainly reasons to leave your captain behind if something is going on, like maybe they're breaking down a gate, or maybe they're working on digging something up. You can leave a captain behind, and then let the other captain just keep going and doing their thing, and then when they're done with the obstacle, you can switch back. It's not quite as well implemented as it was in 3. 3 was really where it started to shine. Let's get these guys going over here. And I am going to leave a captain behind there. I'm going to leave Louie there. And Olimar will come over here to the onion so that when the Pikmin get here, he'll be ready for them. Episode length in this series is going to be a little bit variable. This is not the longest game in the world, but it is not short, especially if you're going for 100%. So I would like to keep episodes around the 30-minute mark. However, if there's a notable stopping point, like if something just makes sense to end, I might go a little bit shorter or I might go a little bit longer. This is not like Pikmin 1, where each day is just 15 minutes and that's it. There's certain ways to make things longer. We are going to be having way longer than 15-minute days. And even the 15 minutes isn't 15 minutes because time stops for cutscenes, and it stops for pausing, and it stops for animations and stuff. But it's not like one day is going to be one episode. These guys have that thing unburied, and now we have enough Pikmin to carry it. Yeah, this day, for example, will probably end up being, well, definitely will end up being shorter, because this day is going to end when we get the battery to the ship. But starting the next day is also going to be a little bit weird, because again, it's not going to be just like a full day. It's still going to be like tutorial-y stuff. But I don't think combining them would be good. I think that would be too long of an episode. So we'll just see. I'm aiming for about half an hour-ish. May go longer, may go shorter, depending on where I think the natural stopping point is. I mentioned it a little before, but these guys are leaf Pikmin. That's the lowest level of Pikmin. You can also have bud Pikmin and flower Pikmin. You can raise them up by either letting them sit in the ground for a long time before harvesting them, or by feeding them nectar, which we haven't seen any yet. When they're leaf Pikmin, they're very slow. So we're just gonna have to sit here and watch them do this. There is no way to speed this up. You also saw that the captains outspeed the Pikmin. And this can become a problem, because if the captain gets too far ahead of the Pikmin won't know what to do, and they'll just stop. And they won't follow you anymore. I really don't like that. If I could change one thing about this game, that might be it. Courage Reactor. There are many treasures in this game. They are most, if not all, product placement for American products. Not all, I can think of a few that are made up. The product placement did change in version to version, so the Japanese version and the PAL versions were both different. And now, the Switch version, I believe, has taken the product placement out. I guess there was a licensing thing, it makes sense. I wonder if Nintendo had to pay for this, or if the product paid them. Anyway, it's a battery. It's worth 280 Pokos. Our first day of exploration has yielded our first treasure. We will be done in record time. I took the liberty of naming it when I appraised it. The name reflects my current thinking. Leave it to me to think up catchy names for hit products. It is but one of my many talents. We shall end our first day here and report back to our president. His face will surely be joyous. However, to communicate with Hocotate, we must fly into low orbit above the planet. We will not return to the surface until morning so as to avoid the indigenous nocturnal creatures. And at the end of the day, we get this little scene. It forces the end of the day here. There's nothing else for you to do anyway. It's impossible to leave any Pikmin behind on the first day because you needed all of them to carry the treasure. That was probably by design. But if there's any Pikmin at the end of the day that have either been left behind doing nothing, or are still working on a task and aren't, like, within your base camp area, they will be left behind and eaten. And lost. I'm gonna try my best not to do that. Of course, the onion flies into orbit with you and you get the report for the day. Starting with funds earned. These are all the treasures you earned for this day. And if you look to the left, there's little constellations. I've always liked that. You get a little ring for the treasure screen. Here's your Pikmin screen. It shows you how many Pikmin you gained and lost. Currently, we have no Pikmin lost. You can't lose any the first day. Little constellation is a Pikmin. A red Pikmin, you can tell because of the pointy nose. And mail. You get mail every day with the constellation being a little envelope. I am not going to be showing every single letter. There's a lot of them and there's different conditions for getting them all. I believe you can find them all on, I want to say, the Pikmin wiki? If anybody's curious, they are all listed somewhere. You found your first bit of treasure. Fine work! Our future depends on your efforts, so check your treasure hoard regularly. I'll check in often. Keep up the pace. Oops. Oh, I actually didn't mean to do that. Oh well, let's hope this recording went well. You have a Piklopedia and a treasure hoard. If you check the Piklopedia, it shows you all of the enemies that you've encountered. And actually all the wildlife, because it's not just enemies. These are dwarf red bulborbs. If you press A, you can throw pick carrots at them, and you can see how they'll respond to Pikmin around, so you can sort of get a game plan of how to fight them. Not that useful with these guys because they're super simple, but there are some enemies I could see this being useful for. Treasure value 2. We haven't been able to turn these in for treasure yet, but we will. Shows how many Pikmin they've killed over the course of the adventure, and how many you've defeated, currently only 1. If you press the X button, you get Olimer's field notes. Excuse me, this is a dwarf red bulborb. I'm not even going to try to read the scientific name. They're a member of the breadbug family. Although initially identified as a juvenile red bulborb, groundbreaking new research indicates that this creature is in fact a member of the breadbug family. A close relative of the vanilla breadbug, it escapes predation through mimicry. Unique adaptation of the red bulborb's crimson coloration allows the species to safely commingle. Such effective adaptation and obfuscation by a prey species is rare, indicating this clever creature is a master of mimicry. I will be reading these entries at the ends of episodes in case people don't want to stick around for it. There are a ton of them, and there's more to unlock later. Throwing pick carrots at these things doesn't do anything, but it does show that they start off as buds and then they mature later, and if you destroy one before it's got the pellet, you don't get the pellet. We've apparently knocked down 5 of them. Pellet Posy, pellet weed family. In the stem of the pellet posy, one can observe the muscle fiber unique to half plant, half animal species such as the Pikmin and candy pot flowers, so the pellet posy is a species that can be considered a close relative. Although the ability to crystallize nectar is unique to a small group of the pelletweed family, The fact that these plants reach maturity so quickly and that their pellets contain such high concentrations of the natural nutrients in the soil explains why the Pikmin and so many of the other indigenous species are so reliant on these pellets for sustenance. There needed to be a comma in there somewhere. We also have the treasure hoard. You actually don't need to check this to see your progress at all, but you do get some notes about them, so you can see the value, you can see the weight, which doesn't mean anything, but I guess it's kind of fun, and you can see Olimar's notes. We've recovered our first treasure. Amazingly, the Pikmin remembered how to salvage it. I can't understand their adorable language, and I don't know what they're thinking, yet I'm so happy to see them. When I crashed on this planet, the Pikmin helped me locate my missing ship parts. In my darkest hour, the Pikmin were there for me. Now that I'm reunited with them, I know everything will be alright. It will, right? Well, that's about enough for today. And we've already saved, for better or for worse, so that's going to be the end of the episode. Ran a little bit short, but not actually that much shorter than I was planning. So, thank you very much for watching this new series, Let's Play Pikmin 2. And hopefully I'll see you in the next episode where we dive back into the Valley of Repose and continue the tutorial. Bye-bye!